Hello everyone, this is Bruce from Kraken Gypsies. Today we'll be playing Jhin versus Garen. And we'll see how this goes. Alright, here we have a power. It's just a common power, presumably. Out of these three, I'm probably going to go with the Armed Gearhead. So the thing to know about Jhin's deck is that it only has two one-cost cards, and that's Crackshot Corsair. So it starts really slow. A lot of his cards are 2-cost, as you can see. And then from there, it scales a little bit. But that's about it. Alright, we're up against a Stony Suppressor here. We're going to fight it. It has no powers. It has nothing significant. So, should be an easy win. As we can see, it starts with 10 Nexus Health to our 25. It should be very easy. In terms of starting hand, this is a pretty good starting hand. So we're going to be okay with that. We're going to drop down one of the Crackshot Corsairs.
I never miss.
Why we do that instead of just attack immediately is because they don't have any mana, as we can see here. And we're going to go into the attack and commit to it. That brings us to their round. They chose to pass. What we're going to do is drop down another Crackshot Corsair.
Let's get it,
and we'll end the round there. Here we're going to attack immediately. This time we're going to use both of our Mystic Shots on their Nexus, and we'll commit to that attack.
I've got us covered.
We're going to go for Coral Creature here. Something to note, and this is something small, but if you look at this, like, not as blue, like right out, like, progression bar around our level, that's the XP that we've already accrued from this round, I guess you could call it. So since we beat that, we now got XP from it, and that's where our XP would be. So if we lost the next one, for instance, you know, we'd get that much XP. That's about it. So, out of these options, there really aren't any great ones, to be honest. We want to have cards that are actually stronger. So, something like Shen might be nice. Or Fiora. I think Fiora is our best option between those. Alright, so we're going to go into the Plucky Poro. And the reason for it's because there's a shop after, and hopefully we can get lucky with the shop power. We want to replace Yone immediately, and we're okay with the rest of the hand. We're going to immediately attack since we didn't draw the Crackshot Corsair. Yep. Once again, they don't have any mana to start with. But there's nothing that we can play this turn, so it just gets to be spell mana. Okay, here we're going to drop down the Boom Crew Rookie.
Of course I'm ready.
And we'll end the round. Here we'll drop down the Crackshot Corsair.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp. To the field.
And now we're going to drop down the stagehand, and we'll stun the Vanguard Defender.
We are at the threshold of something great. Our purpose calls to us. We cannot turn
As
away.
you can see, we waited until they used all their mana, so they can't summon any units, but they can use spells.
I've got us covered.
Since they ain't use any spells, we'll win here. Now, out of these three cards, there aren't really any great options here. I could go for the Astral Fox, and I think that's might be our best bet. And now we're going to go into the shop here. Looking through everything, I'm not sure what I want just yet. We're going to check out the powers, though. As we can see, it's counterfeit production, which is kind of okay, kind of whatever. Counterfeit is a burst spell that costs 1. I mean, in this case, it'll be costing 0, but even so, I don't think that's something that we really need. We don't have any, like, we only have 2 5-power cards, so the Gray Apothecary is fairly useless here. Siphoning Strike might be something to mention. Yeah, I think Siphoning Strike's our best option here if we had to choose. You don't have to choose, you could just leave. Alright, up next is the Fleet Feather Tracker. The last encounter had a power 2. This one, it summons its namesake, a Fleet Feather Tracker. Turn 1. Or sorry, it starts with it. We want to get rid of the Laurent Protégé. But I like the rest of the cards we have. So there's this Fleet Feather Tracker. It immediately attacks.
Go on, shake my hand.
We'll block here.
Remake.
Now we'll drop down a Crackshot Corsair.
Let's get him, crew.
And 1 round. We'll drop down a Coral Creature.
So pretty.
And now we're going to use the Ben Warrant on the Fleet Feather Tracker.
Now I pack a punch.
And we now want to attack
Try to keep up.
and challenge the Fleet Feather Tracker. And we'll end the round there.
Who approaches?
Okay. So, what we're going to do is use Thermogenic Beam on the Fleet Feather Tracker. The reason for it is since it does have Challenger, we don't want to lose any of our units here.
Watch my post.
And now we're going to
No kills,
block
no
with Coral Creatures. And we'll pass since neither of us can do anything. Then it's a round, brings it to me. We are going to drop down Jhin.
The stage is set.
I'm actually
We're going to attack
Yeah, I'm ready.
The curtain
with only Jhin and the Armed Gearhead.
is it not?
Every work demands a piece of
Now we're
ourselves.
both forced to pass, so it'll be their turn.
A little reinforcement at the seams.
We're going to drop down a Mana Soul Student.
There's magic, and then there's me. Are you new?
We'll commit to this.
Missed.
Needs polish.
Alright, now we're going to use... Actually, we're going to wait. We'll pass. We want to wait until we attack before we use Captive Audience here. I had to think about things again. We're going to drop down the Mana Soul Student. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to drop down the Everosan Marksman. We're going to get rid of one of the Fleet Feather Trackers.
Tracks.
Sorry, Silver Wing Vanguards.
Cool. Spell embers.
The cards are really similar to each other.
I will give
Can't afford to miss.
All right, let's get to work.
Now we'll drop down the Boom Crew Rookie.
Of course I'm ready.
Now we're going to use Captive Audience again. This time we're going to stun the Duran Sculptor.
Oh, great. Nice.
And we want to attack with everyone.
Plug and play.
This time we'll be using Jhin last in our attack lineup.
through my work, You shall transcend.
Jhin might get defeated here.
My work.
I have
Okay, he stuns instead. That's good. We end up winning. We had just enough damage to beat them.
You have been a marvelous audience.
Alrighty, now we get the rewards. They keep giving us the same cards we've seen at the shop. We're going to go for the Vanguard Lookout here. I don't want to waste my last reroll. And we're going to go into the shop instead of the gold chest. Disintegrate's a good option here. We might look into that. Alright, yeah. We're going to get Disintegrate. And we're going to buy Bouncing Blades. And we're going to get the other 2 copies of Disintegrate here. And we're going to leave for now. We're going to go into the healer. We don't need to heal. We're going to look at cutting a card. We're going to cut the Laurent Projet. And now we're going to go into Ash.
I'll lead the way.
Before we do this, we're going to change our loadout and show people what to do here. So we can select our board immediately. This is the card styles. If we have prismatics, which we do have prismatic Jhin, as far as I'm aware. You can also equip skins. As you can see, it prompts us to visit the store to get them. We can select a guardian. A lot of mine are just from events. We're going to go for Tibbers. Or maybe Hextech, or sorry, Pulsefire Chip. This is our card backs. We're going to select the one that we want here. And these are our emotes. We're against AI, so I don't bother with emotes. Anyways, we're going to go into Ash now. Ash is pretty difficult. I don't expect to have an easy time with her either. Just because I have Jhin. We're going to attack immediately. And use Blade Edge on their Nexus.
See? This is progress.
Now here we do want to be more sneaky with getting damage out. We want to take great trades for us rather than bad trades because her powers are really crippling.
Knocked and ready.
So whenever she gets the attack token, she frostbites our weakest unit. And they have cards that frostbite, and whenever she attacks, she frostbites. There's a lot of frostbite going on. We're just going to destroy that card with Blade's Edge. We'll commit to it.
This is glorious.
And we'll end the round there. Okay. We're going to drop down Fura.
Strength in grace, beauty in the blade.
Winter is the Freljord's true ruler.
We're going to attack with both the armed gearheads.
Play.
And we are going to commit to that.
You'll make a fine.
We're going to use
totem.
Blade's Edge on her. And this is why I wanted to wait
This is progress.
for them to commit to their block.
To the ice.
And we'll end the round there. As we can see, this is weakest unit.
Faster than my arrow? I think
That's not specific to followers or champions. We're going to commit Disintegrate to Ash. And we're going to destroy her with Blade's Edge.
This is glorious.
Queens bleed just like peasants.
And we're going to end around there. Now we're going to immediately attack.
I will cut
Use
you
Blade's
down.
Edge. And use Riposte on Fiora.
Counter and strike.
Now, I think this is a bit overkill.
Don't mind if
That
I
being said,
do.
they have 6 mana in total. And they have Frostbite cards. Fortunately for us, they weren't able to use any of their spells, or they decided not to.
As I expected.
And so we won that. We're going to go for Fiora that has a focusing crystal. We do have a lot of spells, and so Fiora getting buffs would be helpful. And we are also going to get endurance. And we're going to go into the Dawn Speakers. Their power is on game start, they summon a Dawn Speaker. Immediately we want to get rid of Riposte. We'll get rid of the Everos and Marksman. And we're going to keep the Disintegrate and Boom Crew Rookie. We're going to drop down the Crackshot Corsair.
I'll shoot the wings off a Bilge
And we're not going to opt to attack here.
I'll write my own story.
This time we're going to drop down the Boom Crew Rookie.
My first big mission. As Demacia wills.
Now, we're going to get rid of
That's always been
Cithra.
there.
And we're going to commit to that. Yes, we'll take 1 Nexus damage. I don't mind. None of our units aside from the Boom Crew Rookie can survive
These are
Dawn
dark
Speakers.
times.
So, we're going to do something a little tricky here. We're going to use Disintegrate on the Dawn Speakers. And we're going to use Blade's Edge on them. What makes things tricky is that since he has Tough, technically he wouldn't take any damage. So through technicality, Blade's Edge is going to be useless here.
Now I pack a punch.
However, they still get defeated. And we are going to attack with everyone here.
Try to keep up.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
Time to go.
We did a lot of Nexus damage off of that, which is what we wanted to see.
By the strength of our convictions.
We're now going to use Blade's Edge on the Loyal Badger Bear. And we're going to commit to our attack.
Nice.
New recruit reporting in.
We want to pass.
In the name of the fallen.
We want to use the Armed Gearhead.
Care for a taste of tomorrow? Dodge
We'll use both of
this.
them to block. We'll use Disintegrate on the Dawn Speakers.
Do not.
This lets us have a slight advantage for next round, which will be our attack turn. We want to drop down Jhin.
The stage is set.
Words move hearts and armies.
We're actually going to wait before we do anything here.
Ready, aim.
I will be
And we do want to commit to that
sure
attack.
remember.
Here we're going to use Captive Audience. We're going to go for the dealing 3. Because then it'll deal 2.
Through my work, you shall transcend.
However, Jhin levels up, so I believe the unit's stunned.
I'll write my own
And
story.
we're forced to pass there. They use Battlefield Prowess. What we're going to do is use Captive Audience early, and we're going to deal 3 to it.
I have prepared something very
This will
special.
cancel out Battlefield Prowess. We now want to use Mystic Shaw and Cithra. Actually, no, we don't. We want to use Captive Audience on Cithria. And we want to use our Blade's Edge onto their Nexus. We'll end the round there. We're going to immediately attack.
Finger
We're
on
going to
the
use
trigger.
Blade's Edge. We're going to use Mystic Shot. And we are going to repost Jhin. And that should be the winning turn.
Is it not?
We beat their Nexus without even attacking that time. So one card that I'm realizing would work really well with Jhin, in case anyone gets it, would be Funsmith. It's a Piltover and Zon card. It increases the damage of spells by 1. Here we're going to go for another Vanguard Lookout. And we're going to go into the item chest. Out of these, there's nothing amazing. We're going to reroll. And we'll go for the Thermogenic Beam. And now we go into the shop. We're going to check out the powers. Slow but steady's okay for us, I think. We're going to go get that. And we are pretty poor, but we'll go for an Elixir of Wrath as well. We'll go for a couple of these, actually. This is the last shop. Here we have the Incisive Technician and the Epic Item Shop. We are going to try to go up against the Battlesmith. This is one of the harder encounters, I think. But it's roughly the same as the Tavern Keeper, which is the other option. So we'll see how we do. This is a pretty good hand, actually. We're going to use our Blade's Edge on their Nexus.
Upgrade. Nice.
It's not our attack turn, and they passed, so I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to end the round there. Now we're going to drop down the Vanguard Lookout.
You can count on me.
The finest Demacian steel.
I'm watching you.
We now want to attack, and we want to be using Targon's
Hands of the
Brace
forger, not
on one of the armed gearheads.
Remake.
We do lose one of them, and that's okay. We're going to end the round there.
Approaching the battlefront.
We now want to use Thermogenic Beam onto their Battlesmith. Since we have the power that doubles slow spells, we would then draw 2 cards, since we have the
I'm
Elixir of Skill, I
actually
believe it's
here.
called, on our Thermogenic. Whatchamacall. We want to block like this. This way we're taking out Cythria, and we're holding 4 damage back from our Nexus. It's turn 4, so you know what that means. It's time for us to dun dun unleash the Jhin.
I will showcase the beauty of tragedy.
Alright, so we stun them.
I sculpt what others only
We're going to
dream of.
attack with both here.
I will give them a show to remember.
We'll resolve. Unfortunately, we don't destroy the Vanguard Defender, but we do get 5 Nexus damage off.
Ready for deployment.
We're going to pass there. Since it's tough, our Blade's Edge is pretty useless.
To the field.
We have a lot of spells here that we're going to utilize this turn. I know I want to play Menacing Student here, but I know what I should do. We're going to use Captive Audience A. We're going to destroy one of the Vanguard Defenders here.
No regrets.
They summon a Dauntless Vanguard. That's not great for us. We're going to see what that unit is. It's a 3-3. It's going to be a 4-3 because Finest Demacia Steel Power. That's not great. No, almost no matter what, we're taking Nexus damage here. We are going to use Disintegrate. We're going to get rid of the unit that is tough. We're going to commit to that.
Beautiful, is it not?
We now stunned one of their units as well.
Attack formation.
We are now going to use Blade's Edge on that one. And we are going to block
From your
with Jhin.
canvas art.
And this pretty much cleared the board. We're going to pass. Here, we're going to draw up the stagehand. We're going to stun the Vanguard Defender.
If we seek forgiveness, we must commit all. Embrace your fate, as I have mine.
New recruit reporting in.
Okay. We're going to drop down the Mana Soul Student. Actually, should we? No, we'll drop down the Vanguard Lookout here.
Who approaches?
We're going to use Thermogenic Beam on Cithra.
What could have been?
Now, we're going to do something kind of tricky. We're going to use Thermogenic Beam on the Vanguard Defender, and since he'll survive, we'll draw 2 cards here. And now we want to attack with both.
I know what I must do. I will make
Utilizing
this right.
Targon's Brace, we have just enough damage to win. I would say Jin's playstyle is very strategic and actually requires a lot of skill, at least early on. That's something that I'm noticing. Like, I have to really plan things out ahead of time to be able to make things great for us. We're going to Predict for the Thermogenic Beam. Now we have the Epic Item Chest. Out of these 3, the Colossal Hammer on the Everos and Marksman is probably the best for us. We don't have any units that can really deal with Garen. Unless we wanted to go for the Vanguard Lookout that also had Iceborne Gauntlet. I think the Iceborne Gauntlet might be beneficial. So, we don't want to cut a card here. We want to heal 1. And now we're going to go up against Garen. As you can see, we have 5 powers to his 1. We hope that we can beat Garen before he can actually summon the champion. We don't need 2 Vanguard Lookouts turn 1, and we don't need Disintegrate turn 1. Disintegrate's our other option for Garen. Vanguard Lookout is also specifically for Garen at this point. We are going to immediately attack with both.
Plug and play.
We are going to use Blade's Edge on their Nexus. And we're just going to sneak in 5 damage. Blade's Edge is considered a created card. And so the augment on Gearhead gives them more power.
Eyes peeled.
There's a couple things that we could do here, actually. We'll use Blade's Edge on the Vanguard Lookout.
This is glorious.
This way, if we wanted to, we can take out both of them here.
A real battle.
Otherwise, we're going to have to tank damage.
Care for a taste of tomorrow?
What could have been?
Evolve.
We're
me.
forced to pass. We're going to drop down Fiora.
Always 2 steps ahead.
Now, we're going to use... This is actually kind of interesting. We're going to use Blade's Edge on the Badger Bear. Now we're going to use Thermogenic Beam on it. We're going to predict another Thermogenic Beam. As we can see, we get the Thermogenic Beam that we predicted. Our Fiora is getting stronger. We're going to do this again. And while it does no damage in itself, it is pretty useful. This time, we're going to predict Fiora's riposte. And no, we're going to attack and challenge it.
En garde.
And we're forced to end around there. Cheesy tactics like that are what's going to help us win here.
Only dream of.
Off of this, we're probably just going to use Captive Audience. Actually, before we use Captive Audience, I guess it's one or the other. We'll drop down to Mana Soul Student.
Everyone here is so cool.
A slight adjustment.
And we're going to pass. If they chose to attack there, our Fiora would level up. And I didn't think they were going to attack because we have Fiora. Alright, so we have a couple options we can do here. We're going to attack immediately. We're going to challenge one of them. And we are going to use Riposte.
Your move.
And we're going to use Captive Audience on the Burb.
Oh, that's so cool.
My work.
2 down.
We then leveled up Fiora.
My heart and soul
They do have
for
Garen, but at this
Demacia.
point we can just use Fiora to break him.
My sword is yours to command.
No doubt. Only victory.
We didn't get Disintegrate, but we are going to use our Vanguard Lookout here.
Who approaches?
We then capture Garen. They drop down to Dauntless Vanguard. We are going to use Captive Audience, and we're going to get rid of one of their units there.
I can, help.
If they chose to attack, we'd block with Fiora, and we'd take the advantage. We are... I guess we'll drop down Boom Crew Rookie. I had a couple options I could do there. I think having an extra unit rather than doing one, well, maybe 2 damage to their Nexus would be a little bit better for us. Alright, now we're going to drop down Jhin.
I will showcase the beauty of tragedy.
Eyes peeled.
We want to attack with everyone.
Strike quickly, strike deftly.
We want to challenge.
En garde.
We want to do 1 damage here. We want to give Elixir of Wrath to Jhin. And that should be game.
I have prepared something very special.
It's a little bit of an overcommitment.
That's so...
I hear it now. The thunderous applause.
But I'm okay with that. This is kind of like a grand finale at this point.
Better run.
And there we go. We beat Garen Jhin.
As I expected.
Using Thermogenic Beam like that was definitely what made our gameplay easier for us. And made things more strategic at the end. Whenever we used it in 0-cost form. Of course, it would do no damage. But since we can predict it, it makes things a lot easier. Our Jhin's now level 5 off of beating Garen. And we also got our daily chest. We got 5 Misfortune Fragments, which doesn't help us at all. I mean, it slightly helps us. We don't have a 3-star Misfortune, but, you know. We're 5 shards from unlocking other champions here. Just to show you guys what I've got so far. We have 2 stars on a lot of our champions. Except for Bard and Jhin. And Darius, Garen, Alawi are only 5 shards away. I really want to play Alawi. I'm fortunate enough to be able to play Bard and Jhin though, so I'm not complaining. Alright, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed what we did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them, or the other co-host Bubbles will. Also, check us out on Twitch. Yep. This is Bruce from Kraken Gypsies signing out. Stay Kraken, everyone.